A very warm welcome to Monir Shahroudy Farmanfarmaian. We will do this as an interview, as also we did with Tim Robinson, but before that I would like to introduce Monir. Monir is a very senior figure in contemporary art with an incredible trajectory of over 50 years. She has spent many years living in New York as an art student and later also as an illustrator at the department store Bon Vitello, where she worked alongside Andy Warhol. She returned to Iran in the 1960s and established herself as an artist, holding major exhibitions in Tehran, Paris, Venice, and New York. After the Islamic Revolution of 1979, she took refuge in New York, returning to Tehran in 2000, where she continues to work today. We met with Monir for the first time when working with Suzanne Hefuna on the Edgeworth Road project of the Serpentine Gallery. We asked Suzanne who is her hero, and Suzanne said it is incredibly urgent to meet Monir. And ever since this first encounter, we've recorded many interviews, but it's always been our dream to get Monir to London. So it is a miracle that Monir made it all the way from Tehran, and she will tell us here about her map, but also about many of her new extraordinary works which she has created in 2010. So maybe we can have the map as the first image. Or maybe we should talk about the new works first, because it seems that they pop up first. Now, Monir, when we had coffee this morning, you told me about all these extraordinary new works you did, and they can appear in very different forms. Can you tell us?
First, I want to thank you so much to give me this opportunity with my broken English to talk about my art. Thank you so much. But so. And this is the new, I made about 8 groups. Excuse me. I'm afraid. My 8 group of the individual pieces, and you can arrange it many different way on the wall. Depends if it's a bigger wall, you can make it separate. If it's a smaller wall, you can make it combined together. And this is in the center, it is the old-fashioned, old Iranian Islamic art, which is the very classical. But the 4 other pieces is my own design, which I do it like a drawing with pen and ink, but I do it with mirror. Whatever space you have, you can arrange it the way you can like it to in that space.
And you said that you wanted to talk not only about maps today, but also about the geometry of hexagons and pentagons, because in many previous interviews we didn't really cover that. So when did this start, this interest in hexagons and pentagons in your work?
Around 1960s, I was doing some painting behind the glass, and then by accident that I went to shrines of Imam Reza in Mashhad, and it was the mirror work all around the ceiling and all the way about on the wall, and I was very overwhelmed by it, and I was wondering that such a beautiful lighting and reflection of people that going around and so on. So, and then again, I traveled a great deal in Iran. I saw many shrines with the mirror work, and I was very overwhelmed by it, and I decided this is only in the shrines and in palaces, and so why shouldn't I try to do this on a piece of wood or something and have it moved to the people's house or to my own house. So by chance, I decided to do mirror work, but I didn't know how to do it. And I found the old master was doing some mirror work for a friend of mine's house. I begged him to come and work with me. And he was a very religious man, and he didn't want to work with a woman. So finally I said, I don't touch you. I have nothing to do with you, only to work and show me how to cut the mirror and how to arrange it on the wood. So finally he came, and then I discovered that I can do it on the wood, this paneling of the mirror work, because mirror has to be done on the glue in the plaster with a certain glue of traditional glue. And so I went to a factory that they were making fiberglasses, chairs and furniture and things like that. I begged the man to give me some of that liquid that he was using it. And he said, no, it's dangerous, I don't give it to you and whatnot. So I got 2 cans of it, I brought it home and put it over the board, and I showed to my old master. I said, look, no, you can work in this one because it doesn't wobble and the wood doesn't change. He said, no, I cannot work in this one, it's too smooth. And I asked from the gardener, could you bring me some sand from the garden? He brought some sand, but the material, the chemical of the fiberglass was wet. I threw some sand over it, and from then on I did the mirror work on the wood, which was good. And then I realized I was doing my own design and painting behind the glass and collection of which I had collected from the old Qajar houses and whatnot, painting behind glass.
Because you had a gigantic collection, no? A very big collection.
Yeah, I had good collection, but unfortunately was confiscated. They don't hear it, I hope. And then after that, I asked him, how do you arrange these fantastic shrines and mirror work? He said that there are some geometric forms and some pattern fits to other pattern. And by chance, at that time, I came to London. I went to the bookstore. I found 2 or 3 books that came out with American and the English about geometric design, of the Islamic geometric design. I bought this book and I went home, and then there was something to do with the Algier and mathematics. I had forgotten all that little knowledge which I had. I had a Pakistani teacher, and he was teaching to me how to work with mathematics. The teacher and this old master, they really helped me a great deal to produce some new pattern and so on. And then in that books, I found out that all the geometric pattern are on calculation, and it has 12 different forms, except with the point. Do you have it in here? No.
Can we maybe move on, because there are more images? Yeah, thank you.
No, these are his mirror work. That is only the drawing.
Yeah, so we don't have it.
Okay, everything you start with the points in the geometry, and it's like dropping a stone from anywhere. If it hits the ground, and from then you take a compass and do a circle. And in that circle, if you divide it to 3, will be triangle. If you divide it to 4, will be square. If you divide it to 5, will be pentagon. If you divide it to 6, will be hexagon. And if you divide it to 7, will be heptagon. And it goes on till 12, which is also connected to cosmos with the 12 star, which you can see it by eyes. And the Islamic, they made it very complicated, holy Sufism and all these things are become very involved with this geometric design and the 12 stuff. So hexagon is the most important geometry in the pattern, because you can, a classical, it has 28 different patterns. They know it, all the mirror workers, they know they can create 28, but it has unlimited possibility to do in hexagon pattern, and the pattern of hexagon fits to the pentagon, it fits to the hexagon, which is how all these things are connected to each other. The masters, they can do that beautifully. I don't know how, but they know it. So I will ask them to put the drawing, for instance, in my drawing, the abstract drawing. I do in hexagon. I said, no, I want hexagon in here, I want octagon over there. So he makes it connected together. So that is really the geometry of Islam, which connected with the tile work, mirror work, carpet, and plaster work. Everything it is in geometric design in Iranian art.
And now we could maybe see your map, but before that there are more of these different versions. So maybe we can go through these images. I don't know.
No, these are all the groups of the. This is group 7 and version of 1 and version of 2. You see that how many possibility has that you can hang it in children's room or your own room. This is the hexagon in the middle. You see in outside it's also hexagon. And that's the same version of 3. 4. Wow.
And these works led to very new works which you don't have yet reproduced, which are actually Iranian gardens. They're like maps somehow of Iranian gardens.
That sculpture was in heptagon.
Yeah.
And this is again 4 pieces. This is the Iranian garden. It's Shazda's garden, which is in Kerman in Mahan. It's about 150 years old. It just happened to be the cousin of my late husband's garden. It still is alive, it still is beautiful. It's in the middle of the desert. And then suddenly you see some green wall all around of it, and then that is the garden inside. And that is the big pool, and then waterfalls comes down, and then all around of it is the cypress tree, pomegranate tree, and all. This is it.
But we should see your map now, so if we can move to your map, I don't know, it should be in another
This is all
file.
the Iranian. This is the first group of.
Yeah, we're going back to the first. Right. You need to get out of the CD, and then there was a map.
This is the geometry shape. You see, it's a dot, and then a line, and then a circle, and then triangle, a square, and it goes next one, pentagon, hexagon, and universe. And each of these are symbol of something in the Islamic art. And this is the 28, and it's the last one, zodiac. And that's what I take in hexagon. You see, that's my drawing in hexagon. And this is old 8, what will be hexagon. And this is the old fashioned. I mean, the old master, they do it that way with the mirror work, which is, that is also one of my artwork with plaster. This is 1964.
This is the whole connection to architecture. They are like architectural maquettes.
Well, this is again all in hexagon. I have done it, minaret, and this is my sculpture, which is again hexagon in different layers, but when you look from far away, again you can see the hexagon in it. And that's my sculpture, and that's the drawing. And this is the old Iranian, but one page should have been the drawing of this one, and then has been produced to the mirror work.
And that's the map. When I wrote to you about a year and a half ago, and we started to do the research for this project, you developed this map. So it would be great to hear about the genesis of this map, because it also goes with the text.
Yeah, you can. My English is my eyes cannot see, but I was wishing that all the big manufacturers of the making armory of the airplane, tank and bomb and all that, the government of each country prohibit them to make it. If they do it, they don't make it, there's no many war and guns and killing in Palestine, in Afghanistan, in Iraq and all that. That was my wish really, and it's written like that.
And maybe a very last question is the question of drawing, because in all your books and also exhibitions very often appears drawing, and drawing seems to be a daily practice, and here we have these drawings you make very often also in relation to geometry. Can you talk about your drawings? There are lots of different types of drawings you're doing.
Well, I love drawing pen and ink, and I did a lot of pen and ink drawing when I was at the Cornell University. I kept them, and then also at the Parson, and then every exhibition. I did a lot of drawing, and then now, when I didn't have the studio and everything was confiscated, I did flowers only with a brush, and very wide Chinese brushes, as wide as this one. And with the Chinese ink, with a large piece of paper. In the evening, I looked at the tulips, for instance, is in my coffee table. And the next morning, without looking at the tulip, I will remember that what it was looking last night, and I do that to draw. Very fast, without a pencil, without anything.
Thank you so very much, Monir. Thank you very much.